There's a new hoax going around that there's video. Remember, there was video of Trump using the N-word that still hasn't come out yet. A crazy, salacious accusations. Just they have to get more and more salacious because they've tried all of the other salacious accusations that they were at the time. All bullshit, like all bullshit. The only one that's not bullshit is the video recording or the audio recording of him saying, grab him by the pussy. And I have had more arguments than I care to have, that I will ever have again, that when they got that holy grail of a recording and they said, oh my goodness, Trump admits to sexually assaulting women. It's like, you dumb asses. Did you listen to the audio? And what Trump was saying in there is not, this is what I've done and haha, I got away with it. I would have gotten away with it. It was not Trump saying, this is what I have done. What he was saying is, this is what they let you do when you're in Hollywood, and power rules, and the likes of Harvey Weinstein go around doing a whole hell of a lot worse than grabbing by the... I listened to that recording and that was the best they ever got. And it didn't even say what they said it said. But then you got the Russiagate hoax. You got the peeing on sheets in hooker in Moscow hotels, which they were probably actually describing Hunter Biden, not Donald Trump. Then you got the accusations of racism. Then you got the suckers and losers lie, which they still repeat because they're liars. You got the very fine people lie, which they still repeat, even though it has been debunked even by the most leftist of rags, the Snopes, and they still repeat it. And they're just dying to connect Trump to Epstein, even though Trump was pretty much the only guy who kicked that sorry piece of shit out of his club. They're trying to connect him to Epstein because they are connected to Epstein. And the latest one going around is that a woman came forward, a model, said that in 1995, Donald Trump molested her in front of Epstein. And apparently some people are saying there's video. No video has emerged yet, unlike the video of Joe Biden sniffing and molesting children over the course of decades. No video yet. So they're going with that one right now. And if you recall, for those who lived through it, a crazy woman coming out decades later and accusing someone of sexual improprieties. My goodness, what does that sound like? What does it sound like? Oh yeah, it sounds like Clarence Thomas. It sounds like, we'll just skip a few decades, Brett Kavanaugh. It sounds like Christine Blasey Ford, FBI, CIA intelligence, psych whack job asset, coming out 30 years later accusing Brett Kavanaugh of running a train on her at a house party in 1978. It sounds like batshit crazy E. Jean Carroll, who named her cat Vagina T Fireballs, thinks rape is sexy, coming out and saying sometime, I don't remember where, in some place, Donald Trump did to me what I saw in an episode of Law and Order. It sounds a bit like that. And they're trying it with a week and a half left to the election. And some people say, ignore it. It's bullshit. Don't even give it the time of day. Bullshit. Remind everybody that this is dirt coming from dirt, and it's fabricated bullshit that they do over and over and over again. I say the only problem with the latest one is the woman, she missed her pay date in this. And apparently it happened at Trump Tower, so I guess it happened in New York. I don't know why she didn't file suit when they changed the law to offer a 1 year window of opportunity, the Adult Survivors of Abuse Act, so they could go after Trump there. I mean, she missed that boat. I guess they didn't think it was necessary then when they already had one useful tool, E. Jean Carroll, availing themselves of that newly changed law so they could specifically go after Trump in a politically prejudiced jury pool to get a finding of liability of sexual abuse that a judge then corruptly afterwards transformed into an actual finding of rape, even though the jury form said, no, we do not believe that she was raped. Well, I guess she missed that window, but they need that play again because Kamala Harris is sucking so hard in the polls. And then number two is Trump is praising Hitler. It's so laughably stupid, it would be funny, but it's not funny. Remember, the same play over and over again by the same players who are the filth of the earth.
This is not surprising at all. We have seen this continuous...
John Kelly, deep state extraordinaire, war whore, intelligence, pain in the asset. John Kelly says Trump said Hitler did some good things. Let me steelman this for a second. Everybody has made the joke. Everybody has made the joke. Well, at least, as they say, Mussolini made the trains run on time. I think it was Mussolini, but then they also transposed it for Hitler. Therefore, anybody who made that joke, someone can say, oh my goodness, that person complimented Hitler. Everybody has also made the joke, well, Hitler drank coffee. And then someone can say, he made a flattering comment about Hitler. John Kelly, who I'm sure you can trust, says Trump said Hitler did some good things. And who's this dude on the right? I won't spoil it for you.
This is not surprising at all. We have seen this continuous pattern over the course of many years of Donald Trump endorsing individuals such as a Hitler, disparaging the U.S. military.
Endorsing Hitler. I've never heard him endorse Hitler. I've never heard him disparage the military, you lying sack of crap.
Advocating for fascism.
I've never heard him advocate for fascism, you lying sack of crap.
Which is what John Kelly said, that he is fascist. And just like Mark Milley, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Mark Milley, the man who said he would give China a heads up if there were ever a conflict. Mark Milley, the man who I believe lied about the amount of troops remaining in Syria. Mark Milley, the treasonous, seditious piece of crap. Oh, you're in good company. Who's this guy again? Oh, it's John Brennan.
Who said that Donald Trump is fascist to the core. It just demonstrates that Donald Trump is not interested in promoting our democratic system and our values as Americans.
Baseless accusations demonstrate that Trump is not willing to, participate in these. It's so beyond the pale. These people should have no microphone, no amplification, except to make fun of these pieces of human waste. And they should have no credibility and they should have no jobs in the public sphere.
And so therefore, I find it absurd and appalling that so many Americans are willing to just dismiss these comments. And
dismiss these comments? Dismiss the accusations that these comments were made years ago by unsubstantiated sources or corrupt ones. And also, listen to the way he talks. All of these deep state pains in the assets talk the same way. Super calm, super clear. They speak with a nasally part of the back of their nose. John Kirby, John Brennan. They all have the same. I mean, I'm telling you, they're trained to speak like this.
The undecided voters that are still out there, I think they really need to take this into account when you have individuals such as John Kelly and Mark Milley saying this about Donald Trump. Is this the country that you want your children and grandchildren to grow up in? I certainly hope not.
He's the one now promoting the latest bullshit hoax that Trump said nice things about Hitler. The names of the 51 intelligence officers who lied about the Hunter Biden laptop. Whenever you hear them speak, remember how they lied and how they interfered with the 2020 election. I put this tweet out October 22nd, 2 days before this hoax, or at least the day before this hoax went public. Oh, there he is. I always get nervous about making a mistake. That's the same John Brennan, right? In the same disinformation laundering manner in which the Steele dossier was, Russiagate was, the impeachment was, January 6th was. 2 days before, I said, whenever you hear these mother effers talk, remember that they are liars and they interfered in the 2020 election. Past his prologue, people. The list is amazing. Jim Clapper. There's a lot of names I don't know. But now whenever I hear anybody talk, I go to this list, I do Control F and see if they're on it. In light of the accusation that, Trump is Hitler now, this is coming from Brennan. Trump is Hitler, and he groped a woman in front of Jeffrey Epstein. That accusation, by the way, was made in The Atlantic. I believe The Atlantic ran the article after a number of other legacy media propagandist outlets were approached with the story and chose not to run it. The Atlantic ran with it. For those of you who don't know, we're going to go down a bit of a Twitter hole here. Suraj Hashmi. Suraj put out a tweet and said, today I learned the mystery woman sitting next to Ghislaine Maxwell in this photo is Lorraine Powell Jobs, the owner of The Atlantic. And then you see, we have to, I'm not zooming in on other assets, people. I'm looking at a smile here because you'll see why in a second, although that smile on the side, there's Lorraine Powell Jobs. And I say, oh, that's interesting. Then I go and look and I say, I just have to ask the question. Is it true, Lauren E. Powell? Is this you lounging around in a bathing suit, giggling like a schoolgirl with pedophile sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell? It looks like you. I mean, that smile is a very distinct smile. Lorraine Powell looks like she is actually the owner of The Atlantic. I asked the question. I have yet to get an answer, but I know the answer. Sex trafficker, pedophile sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, partner with pedophile sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Those mother effers are the ones running this bullshit story that Trump allegedly groped a woman back in 1995 in front of Jeffrey Epstein. That picture has been around for a very long time. They're convicted sex traffickers, and yet not one client has been convicted for participating in sex trafficking. Very odd, very odd. How? Ironic telling, confession through projection, accuse your adversaries of doing what you were doing so as to create confusion, that the shithole outlet that ran that bullcrap story of Trump molesting a woman in front of Jeffrey Epstein, those are the two bullshit hoaxes. I don't even know what traction they have outside of a Trump supporting milieu. I think people are just they're numb through exposure to the lies. The only people that this might work on are people who are idiot Kamala Harris supporters already. So congratulations, they already believe that Trump is Hitler. They don't need any more evidence.